Hi guys, I'm Nate.
I'm Hunter.
And I'm Natalie.
Congrats on your trip to El Salvador. Here's our presentation on how to prepare. So this is the itinerary. I'm not going to go over it in the presentation, but you can find our raw presentation in the bio and go over that yourself.
So this is our teacher's guide portion of our presentation, and you as the teacher are going to need to be prepared for this trip just as well as the students are. So we've come up with a little plan for activities that you can present to the kids so they're going to be prepared on the trip. One of those being the suitcase carrying activity, which will be explained in a later slide. Having students research El Salvador, and they can share their favorite things that they've found about it just to get them a little bit more interested in the trip. We've created a vocabulary list for the students just so they are able to converse when they get there. So in order for them to learn the words, you're going to have to tell them to converse with each other just so it's not too foreign. And then just to make sure to inform your students on the international travel safety as far as like insurance and like carrying money, just kind of the basics of international travel safety. And you need to know that as well, but that needs to be informed to the parents too. So
When traveling abroad to El Salvador, you have to understand that their culture and their customs are different than here in America. And you need to go there with an open mind and learn how to talk to the locals and greet them in a way that won't be offensive to them. For some language opportunities you'll have in El Salvador, you'll be going on a couple trips. One would be like a volunteer activity, and you'll be going to the Rutas de las Flores to see the villages and murals, and you'll be going on a sightseeing tour and to get ready to communicate while you're there. You can watch videos of other community workers to kind of get a feel for what it would be like, and look up vocabulary that you'll need to know that'll help you converse with other people. You can also research the Rutas de las Flores and come up with a couple questions to ask the locals about the artwork. And being aware of the culture of the land and coming up with some small conversation to have with the tour guide would also help you to have a good experience on those days.
So this is a vocabulary list that's pretty necessary when you go to a Spanish-speaking country. And, I mean, you can look at this now, but it'd probably be better just to look at this in our raw presentation so you can study it a little bit and then give it to the kids to prepare for.
A few tips that you want to go over with your students on international safety. You know, the basic things like you want to have travel insurance, you want to have a copy of your passport at all times, but, you know, money, you don't really want to have that all in one place. You don't want to have big things of it. It's best to leave some of that back in your hotel if it's got a safe, or do something like that. Know your emergency numbers and have the students know other students' emergency numbers. Teachers need to know the students' emergency numbers, and just don't be drawing attention to yourself being flashy. So the suitcase activity is something fun for students to do. You start by filling suitcases with some rocks, up to around 50 pounds, and then those students get split into groups of 3 or 4, and then you want to find a loop around your school that they can run, preferably with some stairs or some ramps or something, and then just use that as an example for, you know, how fast sometimes you have to hustle in the airport.